All right, folks. I'm just as much in shock as all of you. Horrific day the other day. And I'm still reeling back from all of it, to be quite honest with you. I'm still just in absolute shock like many of you. Tyler Robinson is his name. If you want to put the picture up of him, Alex, Tyler Robinson is his name. This is the suspect, allegedly ties. And it seems to me that there's going to be, Trump is going to look for a swift and quick punishment in this matter. Folks, this is where we're at in the country. We're battling mental illness. The Democrats will have you believe it's the guns, but I'm going to tell you now it's mental illness. And this is what we are up against. This is what we are fighting. I have Melissa Redpill joining us today, who's going to bring a biblical perspective to this. Now, remember, I put on my X that after the blood moon, these events will start happening more rapidly. She's going to clarify and go into detail in all of this as well. Folks, hit the notification button. We're going to dive deep into this with a biblical perspective today. We're going to take a biblical perspective today with Melissa Redpill. Hit the notification button, share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Venmo, 𝐷-Rod1977, 𝐷-Rod1977. When the lights go out, see, folks, I'm all messed up today. I've been that scene with Charlie Kirk keeps playing over and over and over in my head. I can't get it out of my head. At night I'm trying to go to sleep and I just see the bullet hit his neck, the blood gushing out. It makes me sick. And I've gotten all kinds of texts and emails saying, "Oh, he's still alive. It's a false, it's a psyop." Nah, stop. Don't contact me anymore. It's disrespectful and it's distasteful. It's disgusting. Also, the Mexican Mix, folks. The Mexican Mix on Amazon. X is just leave an honest review, folks. Leave an honest review. X is Nino's. Nino Boxer on X. PatriotWear.com, folks. Go to PatriotWear.com. Get yourself some gear. A bulletproof vest. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get worse. This is going to pick up in volume and frequency more rapidly as we go into end of September, October. I'm going to have 𝗬𝗶𝗀 talking about this. Today I have Melissa Redpill. But this stuff is going to pick up. You know we're over the target on Nino'sCorner.tv. And we're telling you now, this may be a culture war on the surface level, but it's absolutely a spiritual war at the core. And that's why I'm bringing on Melissa Redpill today to talk about this. Nino'sCorner.tv is fire, folks. SG Anon is up right now. Now, there's been a ton more development since SG Anon's been up, but I believe there's a lot more to this story than what everyone's talking about. To me, my instincts were this was a very professional hit, engineered hit. I believe that there was decoys in the audience. I believe that it was triggered with a question as if it was coordinated. There's a lot here that does not add up to me. add up to me. And I'm wondering, could we be chasing a patsy? I don't know. This is who they say they've gotten. The videos on the roof look pretty credible to me. But I always like to think there's more to the story. And I'm going to get into that with this broadcast. And with that being said, folks, you know how I do it. Turn it down or turn it up, folks. You might want to turn it down or turn it up as I get crazy in my hotel room. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Oh, yeah. The fight is on. I'm already at that point. That's how I see everything panning out now. I know the fight is on. And you know what just happened? A nail has been driven through the coffin of the Democrat Party for 2028 and 2032, most likely. Actually, definitely. It's over. It's now the party of mental illness, sexual schizophrenia, and cold-blooded killers is the way I look at it. Tyler Robinson, 22, of Utah, reportedly in custody in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. You know, they got him quite fast. You know, there's the biggest loser right there. Utah governor on Kirk shooting suspects. We got him. Now, I would like to know from my audience, do you trust that we have got him? Do you trust this is the man solely, did this solely on his own, like the Harvey Oswald? I don't know. I don't know. It's way too early to tell, but a lot of things are not adding up for me, and I know they're not adding up for you either. I know for a fact it's not adding up. There was too many distractions and diversions within the speaking engagement. It was set up like he was in the lion's den, the viper's den. There could have been a shooter on every which roof. He was right in the den of a shot, like perfect target in Utah, Salt Lake City. I'm going to go over a lot of the things that don't add up. Tyler Robinson, 22, in Utah, is reportedly in custody in connection with the failed shooting of Charlie Kirk. Earlier, President Trump announced on Fox News, I think we have him, referring to a suspect being in custody. Officials are expected to hold a news conference Friday morning today. Authorities have released footage showing the suspect gunman jumping from the roof off a campus. I don't know if you got that footage, Alex, but if you can play it. Showing the suspect jumping from the roof of a campus building moments after the Utah Valley University shooting. Political activist and Trump ally Charlie Kirk, 31, was shot and killed Wednesday while speaking in a campus quad for Turning Point USA. This man that you're looking at right there, that man right there, had the audacity, the goal, the disrespect, the evilness inside him. He found Charlie Kirk so repulsive. Isn't it amazing that the Democrats come out and say that Charlie Kirk, speaking on the nuclear family, speaking about Christianity, that he was preaching hatred? To them, that's hatred. They found that so insulting, so repulsive, that they took his life, that they decided it was better to take his life. And you see all the TikTokers, all the Instagram influencers, all of them out there. What are they doing? Celebrating online. Celebrating online. To them, this is a liberal victory. And the Democrats, guess what? They're going to push to take your guns. They're going to push to take your guns. That's where they're going with this. They see this as an opportunity, as a huge victory win for them. But little do they know that we're going to get a lot stronger on this, and we're all going to unite. So Spencer Cox, the Utah governor, has announced that prosecutors will pursue the death penalty. They will pursue the death penalty in the Charlie Kirk murder case. And you know what, folks? I say bring back the firing squad. I say bring back the firing squad. Handle it the right way. You can't reason or give people like this logic. What does 𝗬𝗏 say on my show all the time? Hell is a place absent of reason and logic. And these people have none. You cannot deal with them. You cannot go up to a rabies-infected dog and just decide that you're going to pet them. Charlie Kirk, week after week, month after month, would go into a rabies-infected den of rabies-infected dogs and try to pet them and reason with them. He would try to reason with them. To me, folks, these universities, these colleges breed hate. They breed violence. They don't want your views. There may be a group of kids that do, and I give Charlie all the credit in the world. Brave individual. I believe he was capturing the minds and hearts of the youth. But folks, you're still going into the den of vipers. You should expect to get bit. And we can all learn a very valuable lesson from all of this. We're dealing with demon-possessed people. I firmly believe this. Have I been proven wrong? And I'm sure Melissa Redpill is going to agree with me. So the murder suspect is arrested after being turned in by his dad. Trump announces after horror assassination, Donald Trump has announced a suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk has been taken into custody after being turned in by his own dad. The president was appearing live on Fox and Friends this morning where he said cops have a high degree of certainty they have the person they are looking for. Now, there's a lot of things to me that aren't adding up, like the decoys in the audience, the person asking the question about trans mass shooting, and then bam, that's when Charlie got hit. The guy on the roof looked like a ninja. He looked like he was wearing a black suit. I don't really know if it fits the guy that we saw jumping off the roof. There's a lot of things that aren't adding up to me like I know all of you, but I promise you this. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Charlie Kirk is also, he'll be getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The going is it's the highest honor a civilian can receive in the U.S. The date of the ceremony is yet to be announced, but Trump said he had no doubt there will be a very, very big crowd. There are the pictures of the guy right there, Tyler Robinson. CCTV was released by the FBI showing the suspect sniper fleeing from the Utah Valley University campus after shooting dead Charlie Kirk. The grainy clip shows the gunman described as a male who appears to be at college age, moving fast across the roof before lowering himself over the edge and jumping down. He leaves behind a palm print and a shoe impression before casually slipping into the crowd of students, blending in as he strolled off campus. Now, you understand, remember I said, folks, you're not going to be able to get away with this stuff, not in the AI world, not with face recognition coming in. The cameras are going to be getting way better. Surveillance cameras are going to be getting way, way better. And everybody has a door camera. So they also caught this guy running down streets and neighborhoods from doorbell cameras. You can't get away these days. You're not going to get away with anything. And plus, there were thousands of tip-in calls in that tipped off the FBI and police about this man. Thousands of calls came in. Both Hannity and John Solomon are reporting they have a hearing that the sources that there might be a foreign component involved in this. Sean Hannity and John Solomon. Now, I talked to SG yesterday. We both believe this seemed like a very professional hit. Now, you got to understand, this guy was 175 to 200 yards away. And he, bam, got him on the first shot. Now, this kid's either a crackpot, a crack shot hunter, practices a lot. My first instinct was that was a professional hit. That's just where my mind went with this. We saw the target area that was hit was the neck. Charlie Kirk was supposedly wearing a bulletproof vest, but got through into the neck. And I know we all want our pound of flesh, maybe a public hanging, maybe death by firing squad. But I'm going to guarantee you that Trump is going to look for an immediate punishment, and I don't think it's going to be a life sentence. Not in this type of circumstances, and not in this type of circumstance. Congress is scared out of their mind. They're all wanting to pass laws immediately to protect themselves, beef up security. But you better believe this is a liberal victory. They're looking at this as a liberal victory. Did you see TMZ? Now, I got to say this, allegedly celebrating, and then they put out a statement. No. We were laughing and celebrating over a car chase. This is Hollywood for you, folks. These are the liberals. This is what we're dealing with. This is not a gun issue. This is a mental illness issue. I'm going to go ahead and bring on Melissa Redpill right now. Melissa, thank you.
Hey, I know. I feel the same way you do. We've been in this fight so long. I feel like, Charlie's our brother. We all feel like, we are also connected. And I keep playing this over and over in my mind. I keep going through like the stages of grief, but I keep going back to, I just can't believe it happened. I don't want to believe it happened. And
Alex, you want to go ahead and just keep his picture up while we're talking?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's mental illness, which is, I mean, clearly, that's what really ultimately what RFK is trying to fight with the
don't talk about that on here, please.
I'm sorry. 72 times.
Please don't do that.
I'm sorry.
I ask you to respect the channel.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so used to being on.
It's just unbelievable. I tell all of you the same thing, and then you guys just go and do it anyway. You don't respect my channel.
Because none of us are over there, and so we're so used to just being able to say what we want. Anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway,
it's just not okay. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, but that's the mental illness is clearly the big problem, but it's also his hate. Did you see what he was talking about as far as the hate that he just been full of it? And I think that's the big problem with the social media, is that they are brainwashing these kids into being so filled with hate. And they're all they do all day long is sit there and just soak in all this hate. And I just saw a video this morning where this woman was talking to these kids on the campus, and the culture has gotten to the kids where they have no respect for human life, and they laugh. I mean, it's demonic, but it's also just like how, they've lost all sense of the sanctity of life. So anyway, so yeah.
No, I just, looking at this, the way this is all playing out right now, the country's absolutely in shock. I'm in shock. That could have happened to anybody. We're all in jeopardy now. I mean, I think that anybody who goes out and, right. This is trauma-based control. This is what they use to strike fear in the hearts of people, fear in the hearts of conservatives, fear in the hearts of people that are all Charlie was doing was spreading the word of Christianity, the Bible, Jesus, the nuclear family, and he gets taken out. Now, I'm hearing there's ties of this that Tyler Robinson was he had that ideology. What's your thoughts on this?
Right. That's exactly what it was saying on here, that he was, that was, I've lost the screen now, but anyway, but that's all that he was just ingesting into his thoughts and his mind every day. The thing I wanted to bring up is about the very interesting post that we saw about Buckle Up Buttercups. And this was just done on the 8th. And
Who put that post out? Okay.
This is from the post from September 10th. And so, this is, you see, if you scroll it, zoom in on it a little bit, you'll see at the bottom, I don't know if you can scroll up. But at the very bottom, you'll see that it's 𝗬𝗂𝗶𝗹 has posted Buckle Up Buttercups. So that's not something people say. Nobody ever says such a thing as that. And so he posted that on the 8th of September.
Who's
Nayib?
Nayib,
that's the president of El Salvador.
Okay.
The one who's taking all these MS-13.
Oh, yeah.
So he's tough, and he works, right alongside President Trump. And so he posted Buckle Up Buttercups. Who says that, right? And so we've got this on the board on September 10th, 2018. So what I think is you've got, President Trump is going after the cartels in blowing up these drug boats. He's going into the cities with the National Guard. He's going into all, he's really taking it to them. And how are they going to respond? Of course, they're going to respond with something like this, with that, and I think that even the guy who killed that beautiful girl, Irana.
In the bus or the train or what it was in Carolina.
Yeah. And anyway, so even, that guy was saying that there was some kind of thing that took over, and I would.
Well, that's why, I mean, Tim Cass calls it this, the culture war and this and that, but we all know, and that's why I brought you on, Melissa, is that this is a spiritual war. At the core, this is all spiritual, and my audience knows this. This is when we're coming into a season, into a time when this stuff is going to pick up in volume, frequency more rapidly. This is happening right now, and right after the blood moon, I actually put up a post on X and I said, "Get ready, events to come," because that's how they do this. Whether it's even them wittingly know it, or it's them
controlled,
unwitting control of a spiritual
robots, like Born Identity type of stuff.
Yeah. Do you believe that the box has to be checked first in the spiritual realm before it can manifest here in the third dimensional world? Don't you believe that this all has to be done spiritually first to manifest here. This is a spiritual war.
Right, no doubt, no doubt. There's demons who are pulling a lot of strings, no doubt. I think a lot of these kids, though, are just brainwashed, useful idiots. And yes, they've opened the door to absolute hate, and whatever situation, this guy is going to get the death penalty. You know, whoever did this is going to get the death penalty. You know, and so that's the problem with when someone opens the door to hate. There's, you know, that's what's going to happen. But if you notice also that other post that you Alex just brought up, it says buckle up. President Trump just posted the other day when there was, I can't remember exactly, something was going on in the Middle East. I can't remember what it was. Either, it doesn't really matter. The point is President Trump posted buckle up. I mean, no, he said, here we go. And so that reminds us of this post here that says buckle up. Same thing that 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗍 was saying is buckle up. So, and I don't really think, I mean, President Trump is not saying that, he's not saying he knows that these things are exactly what's going to happen. But of course, you know that when you go at these people and with everything you've got to stop, you know, what's going on in the Middle East, to stop, I'm so scared to say anything. I don't even know what I can say.
It's okay.
To stop the, you know, the drug cartels, to stop the, you know, to go into the cities, and he's taking going after them. They know that they're going to respond and do such a thing as this.
And you got to remember too that we are moments away from going into Chicago.
Exactly.
Now, I think now with this shooting of Charlie Kirk, everybody's just going to sign off on it. They're going to say, do what you want, however you need to do it, just do it. We're sick of this. We're tired of this. Take all of them out. We don't care anymore. You have all of our permission. Everyone's just going to say, write the check. We don't care. I think that's what's going to happen now. Now Trump more than ever can do whatever he wants. And the Democrats have lost the election of 2028 and 2032. They're done.
Yeah. Yeah. People who saw that video that you and I saw, and I wished I hadn't seen it, and also have seen the response, the laughter of these people. That's just, we're done. We're done. So the other thing is, did you see the guy
celebrating in the crowd?
Yes.
The guy standing up. This is purely demonic. That would never be a reaction from our side. Never be. There it is right there.
There's a huge difference. Look at what happened with and now you've got, you know, all this going on with, you know, with us, we have prayer vigils. You know, it's outrageous, the difference. So no doubt people see that it's very, very stark and clear. The other thing I was going to say is, what you were talking about before I came on is he was in a triangle, just like JFK. Remember that? You know, did you see on the quad? He's in a triangle. I mean,
you're talking about like this.
If you look at an aerial photo, you'll see that it's the way that it's the grass is set up. It's in a triangle.
Wow. You know?
Yeah.
Almost like a sacrifice.
Just like with JFK.
And this holds a lot of power for these people. When you understand the ritualistic, the symbolism, the ritualistic, the ceremonies, the sacrifice at a spiritual level, that's all very important to them.
Right. I agree.
So do you believe in your heart of hearts this is the kid that did it, or do you believe this was a well-organized, professional engineer?
It's so early. It's so early yet. It's hard to know. I will tell you that, you know, for the dad to turn him in, he probably knows that this guy had been just eaten up with hate, and that he had the ability to do it. Now, if you know, this guy probably has a lot of skills to shoot, you know, and so he's the dad. You know, I don't think that the dad would have turned him in if he had any doubt.
I agree. I'm just going to list off some things here that there it is. I'm going to find very, very suspect. The shooter was in all black and positioned perfectly on the roof. In my first reaction and opinion of this, I thought he would need to have had some kind of military experience to pull off that kind of shot. He was about 175 to 200 yards away, give or take, wind resistance, the sun in his eyes. Now they're coming out of the news and saying, you know, this wasn't such a spectacular shot. Well, I'll tell you what, you better have some experience to make that kind of shot on your first try. You know, they're saying that this could have been done by someone who hunts or practices regularly. The second thing that I found, you know, suspect was that it sounded like the person asking the question about Charlie Kirk's thoughts on mass shootings kind of gave the signal or the cue for this guy to shoot. That, I mean, why aren't we apprehending this guy and asking him questions, interrogating that guy that asked questions? I don't believe in coincidences.
Right.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Well, I think that this guy has probably seen Charlie's videos of his things, and they know basically the questions that are coming up and then the things that are going to be asked and talked about. And yeah, it was right after he said those were his last words about transgender violence.
On mass shootings. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Right.
Eyewitness says the shot that took it's about trans violence, and if it were coordinated, and then bam, bam, his neck gets blown out.
I know. So let's, I wanted to, before, I know our time is going to run out on us if we don't watch out, but back to what we were talking about as far as, is this like going to get worse? We know that we've been told on the board that we're going to get a message that says, my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. So, you know, if all these things are happening, you know, you've got, you know, what happened? I don't even know if you followed Bolsonaro, just got 27 years in Brazil.
I saw that.
It's not just in America. It's all over the world. This battle is for the world. This is a battle of good versus evil for all over the world. Go ahead.
But Melissa, how many mass shootings were there just in the last 24-hour period?
Right.
Isn't there been 2 or 3 already?
I don't know. But I haven't kept up with all that.
In the chat.
Go ahead.
Someone put it in the chat. People are telling me I need to apologize to you. I do apologize to you, Melissa.
No,
you know, I'm not trying to be rude.
It's my fault.
No, but I freak out because it's so sensitive.
I know, and I understand what you're up against, and I apologize. I'm just so. Yeah.
Okay, so I am apologizing to Melissa.
No, it's not his fault. It's my fault. It's my fault, y'all.
But you know, I shouldn't have jumped on you so bad. So
no, it's okay. You didn't. It's my fault. Anyway, so but back to this, and I really do apologize. I apologize. Anyway, so but
I apologize, Melissa. We both apologize.
We love each other. We got.
We do love each other, folks.
We're stressed out, everybody.
We are stressed out.
We're stressed. This is, you know, and the thing is, I mean, for you guys, I'm sure you guys know this, but we go to these events. It's freaked us out because we put a big old spot on our, you know, right there for people to hurt us. You know, it's dangerous because we put ourselves out there. So I you know, it's freaked us out a lot. Anyway, I'm trying to be, you know.
Well, I know we're all over the place with this, but I want to get some points in here real quick.
Okay.
The person that was an eyewitness says he believes it wasn't just one shooter. The person was not acting alone, but several people working together. And that's from an eyewitness that says he believes that. Yeah. Now, you got to remember, there were decoys in the audience. And
that guy who they tried to arrest. Yeah.
Right. And then there's rumors now of this private jet at Provo Airport, which is a 12-minute drive from Utah Valley University, an hour after Charlie Kirk was shot. 30 minutes into the flight illegally dropped off its ADS-8, which shows its location, altitude, and speed to air traffic control. So it turned off GPS.
Right.
30 minutes into the flight, the plane illegally did this. So this, to me, all seems highly orchestrated and planned out. I don't know if I'm only getting what everyone else is getting, but I'm also getting stuff behind the scenes, and I'm trying to put all these pieces together. And it's still very early.
Right.
But I guess we're going to have to go with the narrative that MSN is putting out there.
Well, okay. I posted this on my Melissa Redpill X. You guys can go and look at it because the MJ Truth had been posting about that plane. And so these people who own the plane reached out to him and said, oh, no, it's according to when you're flying into these for the air traffic control where they don't have a tower, that you're supposed to turn off your radar. And I looked it up on Grok, and it's like, no, you're never supposed to turn this off. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm not a pilot or have any idea about it at all. But the point is, they have no idea who's flying in the air, I mean, it would be extremely dangerous. I just can't even imagine it. And they did say Grok said there'd be huge fines if you did turn it off. So that didn't make sense. So you can go and look at that post on my.
What about the books that have come out? And I sent them to Alex. Yeah. The books that have been coming out on Amazon that were published that day saying Charlie Kirk's been shot, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're already out there. Like, how would that even transfer? How would that even happen?
Okay, so let me tell you, I have books on Amazon, and it is pretty quick that you can create a book and upload it. Okay, because I've done this before, but I write my books from scratch because AI can only give you the information that is put in. I have to write my books from my heart, from my understanding, not just from some canned baloney. So you could easily right now go on Grok and say, okay, Grok, make me a book in 20 chapters and tell the synopsis of everything that's happened with the
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
you can do that, and then you can upload it. Now, when you go into Amazon and you're uploading your book, you have to check a box that says, is this created by AI or not? And of course, my books are not. These are, and I argue with Grok all the time because it's not just Grok, it's all the AI. They only have the data that they get. And so that's why I really believe that they tried to.
Some people are saying the book was uploaded a day before, though.
Okay, well, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, the people are saying that in the
research
comments that the book was actually uploaded a day before.
That's what I've heard too, but I don't, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. Anyway, so but back to my thing, I want to make sure that get this point out. And President Trump is going to say, "My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us." So I just want you guys to understand, it's going to get tough, like what you've been saying, but there's something very interesting coming up. It's called the Feast of Trumpets on the 22nd. I think you have a picture of that, Alex. The Feast of Trumpets, and this is a biblical festival that is about going to battle. And I just feel like biblically, this would be the day, like a big trumpet blast, that we're shutting these people down. And it's not just, yes, going into the cities, but even bigger than that, not just in America, but all over the world, that to bring down this cabal. Biblically, this would be that's the dates right there. It's called the Feast of Trumpets or Rosh Hashanah. And this would be biblically a great day for this to happen, for these people to be brought down. Okay, so I wanted to say that. The other thing that I wanted to say, because I know, again, our time's going to run out.
No, we got time.
Okay, are we okay? All right, so did you have any questions about that before we go on? Because that's a really important thing, an important day in the biblical calendar that this could happen. So that's just now a little bit over a week away.
So I've heard that September 16th through starting now, actually September 10th through the 24th, right there. Yeah, this was all, we are now in a window of these type of things to happen. And folks, stay with me. Let me just knock this out real quick, Melissa. Get your collagen, folks. I know you don't like hearing these, but I got to do it. A 2025 survey found that over half of U.S. adults are concerned about how fast their skin is aging, and 40% fixate on random wrinkles or dark spots. If that sounds like you're not alone, if that sounds like you're not alone. More and more people are noticing visible changes in their skin far earlier than expected. We're all getting older faster. This is why I use my secret anti-aging weapon, and I'm obsessed with the changes I'm noticing in my skin. It provides my skin with the 5 must-have types of premium collagen needed to help reduce wrinkles. Since taking it, I've experienced smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, and more youthful glow. Plus, it mixes smoothly into my morning coffee or tea with no taste or clumps. Be sure you grab a bag of this ageless multi-collagen now while it's 51% off. Only at Health with Nino, folks. Get over there and get on it. All right. Sorry about that. I got to do it. So do you want to share the screen real quick and show everybody what you were going to be?
Okay.
We got some time, Melissa. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. So, well, I think, pull up for me, Mr. Alex. There's a very interesting passage. And I just, I look at how this is biblical. And for those of you who aren't familiar with me, I would really like for you to go to, everything's for free on my website, melissaredpill.com. And you can, have like thousands of videos over there about how, what we're really experiencing biblically. And I'm not controlled by these, the deep state church, whatever. So there's a very interesting passage in Revelation chapter 20, and it talks about what's going to happen with, I just got to bring this up because, I don't really normally talk about this verse. It's a very complicated verse. It says, I saw thrones, and there were people sitting on them who've been given authority to judge. Okay, so this is after you go into the 1,000 years of peace. He says, I saw the souls of those who had been, it actually says beheaded. In other words, martyred. There are people who've been martyred. Like now Charlie is a martyr, no doubt. Political assassination for their testimony about Jesus and for proclaiming, he's in line with Martin Luther King Jr. and JFK. In my opinion, he was more than a political activist. He was a preacher of the gospel. I'm sure you guys have heard, he quotes scripture.
There's never going to be
I did.
another guy. And this is another thing that I've been warning my audience. And let me know what you feel about this. At 3 a.m., folks, I had a vision, and I'm just going to tell you my vision. I woke up out of bed with this vision, and I believe it was God telling me this. I had to get the word out there. I put it on X, but a vacuum has been opened. A vacuum has been opened. Beware of imposters that are going to come in as conservatives, that are going to try to take Charlie Kirk's place, that are going to teach perversion and degenerate behavior, that it's okay. And they're going to take Charlie Kirk's place. The only person out there that was speaking on Christianity the way he was and the nuclear family was Charlie Kirk. Anybody else is going to be coming out with, it's okay to do this and you can be like that and all genders. These are going to be imposters wearing MAGA hats coming out into schools and trying to take his place. And I felt like I heard this from the Lord, like this is going to happen. This is coming. A vacuum has just been opened. Right. Now, I know that there's going to be a lot of conservatives that are going to jump out there and say, no, we're all going to we're all Charlie Kirk. But there's going to be a lot of imposters that are going to try to take his place right now. What do you think? Right.
Well,
and lead the youth astray.
Right. President Trump said that that Charlie is not, you can't replace him. You clearly can't. There's nobody like Charlie. He had such an ability to be so persuasive and to say things in such a way with kindness, but that made it very clear what the truth was. But I want to finish this verse. It says, I saw the souls of those who had been martyred for their testimony about Jesus and for proclaiming the word of God. They had not worshiped the beast. I've talked about that before, the mark of the beast. They didn't take the mark. In other words, the mark, as I've talked about before, is that these people who've joined in league with the devil, these people who've joined in league to do evil, right? And so these people had never done that, and they came to life again. Y'all, I'm telling you, you go and look in your Bible. Revelation 20 says they came to life again, and they reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. And it says this is the first resurrection. The rest of the dead didn't come back to life until the 1,000 years was ended. But blessed and holy are those who participate in this first resurrection. It says for them, the second death holds no power. In other words, if you've died once, you can't die again. Now, Jesus, as we know, he died once, and they can't kill him again, right? And these people are the same way. What if? I'm just telling you, I'm just throwing this out there. This is what Revelation 20 says. I just read to you the verse, okay? It says they'll be priests of God. They will reign with him for 1,000 years. I can see how for the 1,000 years, in the golden age of 1,000 years of peace on earth, we're going to need people like this, like a Charlie Kirk, like a JFK, like a Martin Luther King Jr., that we can say, you know what, these people, I may not be able to trust all these other people. I don't know if I can trust them or not, but I can trust these. They've proven themselves. And I feel like, what this Bible verse sounds like it's saying is that they'll be superheroes. Now, President Trump said something very, very interesting this morning, and I'm just going to throw this out there. President Trump was talking on Fox and Friends about these, about Charlie and how it devastated, how he just, when he found out he died, he just couldn't even process it.
Yeah, you could see the anguish on Trump's face.
Yeah.
Still, I'll be taking a shower. I'll be trying to lay down to take a nap. And then just that visual of Charlie Kirk's necks, I can't get it out of my head. Let me ask you this for a second, Melissa. What do you think about the people out there spreading the conspiracy theories that this was a fake death? This didn't really happen. It's kind of, it's repulsive. It's disgusting. I am not in that camp.
I know. I heard you earlier. And I appreciate your strong words about it. And we all love you for your strong words, Nino. We do. We love you.
I may piss off a lot of people. I don't know. I know I do.
No, you don't piss me off. You make me, I appreciate your strong stance. I cannot imagine the plan being that youth would stand and see such a horrific scene. I saw it accidentally on my phone, and I'll never be the same. I cannot imagine how horrible it must have been to have been there. I just don't believe that was.
Can I just say something, folks? I grew up on the border. I grew up right next to 𝗂𝗏 Juárez. There was times I crossed over the bridge, and there was headless bodies swinging from the rafters of the bridge, with their heads lined up on the street with the same expression they had when they died. I didn't know those people, but we all felt like we knew Charlie Kirk. And that is why That is why it affected me so much more. This assassination has affected me more than seeing bodies swaying from the bridge. I thought I was pretty numb. I thought I was pretty jaded from all the things I've seen in my life, growing up on the border, seeing people get shot in the head in real time, me taking a knife to the throat. But for some reason, this Charlie Kirk assassination, knowing what a beautiful man this guy was, what he was preaching, Christianity, that someone found it within themselves. They were so repulsed by this. I believe it was a demonic possession. That's the only thing you can explain it to be. A demonic possession, that they took it on themselves to take his life, take this man's life, take him away from his family. Now he has children that are going to grow up and never know their father. They'll always hear what a great man he was, and they'll always have to see that video of his neck getting blown out. And
like
I guarantee you, folks,
I
guarantee you, they're all going to see this. All his kids will see that video play at some point or another in their life.
Like RFK and JFK, they're in that same situation, that they'll grow up without their dad, and it's just, everyone will, as we'll always talk about. I wanted to read you that, because this hate, what you were talking about. This is the problem. Tyler Robinson was full of hate in those days before the shooting. According to a family friend, as authorities revealed, he confessed to the assassination has been turned in by a relative. Bullets found in the chamber of the rifle reportedly used by Robinson included apparent left-wing slogans such as "Hey, fascist, catch," and another referencing 𝗬𝗶𝗱𝗏, a popular Italian anti-fascist song, because he just had been, taken in by all this hate. And it's the fault of the media. They have spurred this on, and I hold them accountable for what they've done. And also the big tech pushing this out there in the algorithm.
You got to think about this, Melissa. He goes into the lion's den week after week or month after month. He goes into the den of vipers. Let's call them rabies infected dogs. Okay. So, when I go into a fight, every time I went into a fight, the referee said, keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. I believe, how could Charlie Kirk not know that these people are so insane, so volatile, so toxic, that they all want him dead? They do not appreciate him coming to the college campuses. Why did he not, set the perimeters, do surveillance? I mean, he's putting himself out there in the open. Did he not see what happened to Trump?
Right.
This can happen to absolutely any of us.
So this is the thing. He counted the cost. It's just like, it's not so different from you and me. We've known the danger we put ourselves in by going out to events and all these things, and not to the level of Charlie. But I mean, he counted that cost, and this was in him to speak this truth. And there's nothing's going to stop him from speaking the truth, just like nothing will stop you from speaking the truth.
I understand that, but you still need to take precautionary measures. Look,
there's no way he could have done this. Guy on my channel, it talks about the guy who looked into how he could set up the perimeter and go through all these things, and he would have had to put like bulletproof glass around him. And I think that
let me just
Charlie
say this,
want to do that.
And I mean this, folks. This happened to me. I'm speaking from experience. I'm not a guy on here just pulling the stuff out of my ass. This happened to me. It strikes you like lightning when you least expect it. I got slit from my ear all the way to my lip, and they got my throat. They barely missed my jugular. My blood was flowing out of my neck like a fountain. And what happened in my mind was, I'm dead. I'm going to die. This is how I die. All of those thoughts go through your mind when you get struck, when you get hit. I guarantee you, those thoughts were going through this man's mind before he blacked out. Now, hopefully it knocked him out with the percussion of the bullet. Alex brought that up to me. I never thought about that. That could have happened. Hopefully that happened. But if it didn't, I guarantee you he had about 30 to 40 seconds where he was contemplating his life and knew that he would never see his children again. I guarantee that. If the bullet didn't knock him out, he was thinking about his life, his children, and his wife. The last 30 seconds, because your brain still has oxygen, folks. And it's what happened to me when I got hit. Even when you get hit with a good punch, I mean, the whole thing, folks, your brain still knows.
Wow. So I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. I was just thinking about that. He was in a situation. I was thinking it probably killed him immediately, really. And they just wouldn't tell because it was harder. It was hard enough with, I don't know, but I think it was hard enough for the kids to have seen what they saw, and for them to say, okay, he died in the hospital would maybe make it a little bit easier. But yeah, I've not been in that situation. I've not had a.
No, I think he's. But by the time I got word pretty fast that he passed away before anybody else did. And I was hesitant to put it out there. I did anyway. But that was 30 seconds he was out. 30, 45 seconds he was done. And by the time they were carrying him to the SUV, he was gone.
It was done.
He was gone. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And it was but it was just hard. Just like with JFK, he was dead in the limousine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they just don't announce it until later because it's just too hard for everyone to process.
I can't imagine what his feeling, his wife and his kids, that person that took his life didn't just take his life. He took his wife's life. She's never going to be the same. His kids will now grow up without a father. They could have had an amazing father.
Right.
Gone, ripped out of this world.
But back to what you were saying before, he counted this cost, and they knew the danger of what he was doing. And they knew that, I mean, the only way that he could have been protected, like I was saying before, and this whole litany of all the things that this security person said they'd have to do, I put it over on my Melissa Redpill. It's, part of that would be bulletproof glass. And he did not want to be separated from the people. He wanted to be with the people. And they knew that this could happen. I mean, he's had death threats for years. And, he knew what a danger I just wish that, they could have been in a situation where they weren't around all these big buildings, and where they at least did a perimeter check and did the security check, whatever, where people get tickets. I think that in his mind, because I've been a missionary for years, from the missionary standpoint, he did not want to hamper someone feeling that they could come on to hear the truth, and that's the risk he counted and said he was willing to take that risk. So here's what President Trump said this morning, though. He said, this is so interesting. Like I said, I just posted this on Melissa Redpill on my X. He said, that sometimes out of bad things, good can happen. He's a great man, and he's going to be even more important because of what happened, but that won't help the family. So what does this mean? And of course, it can partially mean that it's going to awaken more people to be, on the side of the right. I mean, this may be what we talked about, the mass start awakening. People are like, okay, we're done with this evil. You guys can go be
part
evil.
of that, unless you're insane. And that's why. And then you look at people, and I'm just going to read this real quick. AOC is now coming out, and we all know how AOC is. So the left is going to use this opportunity. Right now, this is a liberal victory for them. They're going to use this opportunity to push gun control. Okay. This was a bolt action rifle. It wasn't even an AR, which they want to go after. But Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk horrific and urged Congress to take action on gun violence legislation. And she said, this is horrific, this is awful, and the assassination of Charlie Kirk risks the uncorking of political chaos. So the Democrat told reporters that on the Capitol on Wednesday, are we going to do something, or are we going to argue over this rhetoric? This is my question about this, she added. We have to pass gun safety legislation to stop this. So this is how they're taking advantage of this opportunity right now. These people are sick.
Of course they would. Of course they would. As if that would stop what happened. It's stupidity.
It's mental illness.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I could easily go up to somebody with my bare fist, because these are lethal weapons. And if I wasn't balanced, I could kill somebody with my bare hands. I promise you that. 100% I know I can.
Right. Right.
And so
he's huge.
I'm just saying size has nothing to do with it, by the way.
Right.
But now these wild conspiracy theories are swirling around about Charlie Kirk's assassination, from the escape jet to duo secret hand signals before the shooting. I'm not dismissing any of these.
Right.
These conspiracy, there's too many weird nuances. There's too many weird anomalies that you can't dismiss them. Right. And I think especially now with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino coming out saying Epstein didn't Epstein killed himself. There's no list. People don't trust the FBI anymore. They never have, and they still don't trust the FBI. What's your thoughts about this? Do you give any credibility to any of these conspiracy theories, Melissa?
Well, okay, so I looked at it and I posted it. I'm like, I don't know if this is valid or not, but I did do a search online, and those are the very military hand signals. That's what it is.
Really?
Yes. Yes. It goes into all the
So
details.
you believe this was a coordinated effort, and maybe
no, I don't know that. I'm just telling you that what I saw them doing. Of course, who knows? It could be AI generated. Okay.
Okay.
You know what the day we're living in. I'm just telling you that the hand signals that I saw them doing were the video I posted on my account. It's like, yeah, that's exactly the hand signal it says in the military hand signal for, fire at will.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
And then the fact that it happened right on
hand signal.
And then it happened right on cue when he's talking about trans mass shootings, and then bam, right there. I mean, you couldn't script this any better.
Right. But again, I don't, I leave room for the fact that it could be that someone made up that video as it made, the AI. I don't know. I'm just telling you that what the hand signals did match what I looked up online.
And then right after the shooting, you have Israel's Netanyahu coming out saying, we are going to fulfill our promise that there will be no Palestinian state.
Yeah.
The place belongs to us. So then he made a very bold move right after the Charlie Kirk shooting and said this. So you got to think, I mean, maybe you shouldn't show that video on here, Alex. But you got to think, like, is there more to the story? That's all I'm saying here.
Right. Well, and then they asked this girl on Fox, I think it was Fox News, asked Netanyahu that very question. He was behind this, and he gave a very normally he's pretty clear on what he's saying. He was kind of hemming and hawing. I can't believe they would say that. It really sounded very odd. It sounded like he was shocked. He was being asked that question, and I'm sure you've heard that Charlie had.
Let's talk about that on the back channel.
Say it again.
Let's talk about that on the back channel. But let's talk about more about what you were going to talk about, Melissa, going into September and October. So here we are coming into Red October. September has not failed to be an explosive month. It's kicked off the way it has. I believe we're going to go into Chicago with National Guard. I believe that's coming. This is just going to keep ratcheting it up and escalating. Do you agree?
Yeah. Okay. I was just sending over to Alex in case you wanted to show it. I was going to show the post that I did about the hand signals.
Put it up.
Okay. Yeah. So I just the person who created the video goes into showing, okay, this is when they touch their hat, it means this, and when they do the hand across the body, it means that. So yeah. Okay. What does it say? Military hand signals suspicious to.
And then he's like holding
investigated.
Interesting.
Okay, so she's going to bring up the exact, here in just a second, she's going to bring up the exact signals. Sniper, watch, or see. Look at that.
Whoa.
Yeah. Touch the side of the face in the military context, often by rubbing the cheek, is a hand signal to indicate the presence of a male individual. Other hand signals include, but a male individual. And then you've got, he's pointing to this guy's arm, the single hand straight out in front of the body with the palm down and moving in a horizontal arc repeatedly means commence firing. When I can't read that fast. Anyway, go back up a little bit, Alex. Yeah. When executed rapidly, it means to increase the rate of fire. When executed slowly, it means to decrease the rate of fire. Again, but I can't tell you whether these are valid videos of the people in the.
Yeah, it's just so, man, I don't know.
But you can see this is exactly what it says in the military hand signals. I even grokked it. I'm like, because I'm trying to be really careful about what I post,
Yeah, I don't know. Man, I'll leave this up to my audience for them to decide. I really don't know. I can't even. Gosh, it's just so chaotic right now. We got to really wait for the dust to settle more as more facts come out. More. Man, that's tough. That's you. I don't know. I mean, what if he just then he touched his ear right there, didn't he?
And that he did too. Right there is crazy.
Too. Look at that. Both of them right here.
Yeah. The thing that gives me pause is they would be right in the line of fire. Right?
I don't know. They need to be apprehended. That's what I would say. I would say they need to be interrogated.
Yeah, definitely look into everything. So pull up, if you will, Alex, that other verse. This was the last verse that Charlie ever quoted to the students before he died. And for those of you who haven't really kept up with Charlie Kirk, I mean, he would go into churches. I mean, in my opinion, he was like a preacher of the gospel. And the difference between him and so many, unfortunately, controlled preachers in the churches, he had the courage to speak the truth. And I just love that about him. A lot of these preachers have just been like just playing it safe, and then look at our society because the preachers have not spoken the truth about, just like you were in all this. But this is the verse he said. The NIV translation says, he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. This is the beautiful passage that he just read just before the last verse he read. He always, when he would meet with on these campuses, he would quote scripture. Not just talk about the political things like the sound bites that you might hear online. And I posted some other videos so people will see, whenever he would talk to someone, if you listen to the whole thing in context and not just little sound bites that someone might want to pull out, he was always so kind and patient and understanding and trying to, he wasn't just coming out guns blazing against people. But yeah, he's talking about that, the whole point of us to live. He epitomizes this verse. The whole point of us for our lives is that we would, give honor to the Lord. And as I was reading from Revelation 20, what if he gets this blessing, and along with JFK and with Martin Luther King Jr. to have be superheroes? What if the Lord brings them back in the golden age? I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm just saying this verse, you guys tell me what it means, because it sounds like it means that there will be people who will come back in the golden age who we can trust in, that we know that they can't die, and they'll live, it says, for 1,000 years. That's what it says. Anyway, that's what I look at on my channel. I look at all this stuff. This is what I do. I try to connect it to biblically, because it's really good news. It's not the scary stuff that the mainstream church has thrust out there.
Do you want to stay with me while I read What the Fuck News?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What the fuck news and what the fuck news, folks? Sorry, Melissa. So Melissa, let me get your thoughts on this.
That's really the name of this segment.
Yeah, the last segment. What the fuck news?
Okay.
Pregnant women are turning to cannabis to ease pain and anxiety. Pregnancy was complicated time again for Tasha Taylor, the 33-year-old who was already managing her bipolar disorder with a psych medication when she got pregnant. Then Taylor learned the prescription drug could hurt her baby. She decided to get off the medication, which led to night terrors. She'd wake up shaking and in sweats from nightmares of her abusive ex-partner, and she struggled to eat. Taylor went on to get medical marijuana card. The cannabis helped her sleep during her pregnancy and tapped down feelings of mania. She would only take a little before bed, said Taylor, who lives in the small home where he and her parents raised her, and on the southwestern edge of Elkins, about half a mile from the cannabis dispensary. There's so much worse stuff that people could be taking, and this is just a plant. God put it on this earth, she said. What do you think about this stuff? I mean, and it goes on to say that more and more mothers, expecting mothers, are using cannabis or smoking weed while they're pregnant. Right. To me, I think I don't think it's good. I think it's terrible.
So dangerous for the baby. And the cannabis that they have now is like 10 times more.
Oh, 100%. You're right. You're right. So what's your thoughts on that? I mean, they think, oh, it's just a plant, but it's modified. It's modified.
Right.
Right.
I'll tell you, I'm the girl. I don't want to take anything from big, whatever. I'm not going to say the name. Yeah. So I'm certainly not going to take something off the street that I have no idea what's in it.
I understand the argument that it's just a plant, and I think a man smoking it, I mean, if you're not pregnant, whatever. I don't care if you smoke it or not. But I think you could be putting your baby in jeopardy of something. I don't know what. I'm not a doctor, but I know that it affects men's sperm count. So why wouldn't it affect the baby that you're growing in your stomach if you're smoking that stuff?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's not my expertise. But I just say I just think it's so dangerous, and I would think you don't know if it's laced with fentanyl.
Oh, I know. Oh yeah. I
you're
mean,
just putting yourself out there, and look,
play at your own risk.
I'm telling you, everything that's happened, our culture is falling apart around our ears because of all the stuff that's been ingested into people, one way or the other. So I just think that the best thing to do, and I think you have a health page, I have a health page. We're going with everything the way literally God intended, nothing modified.
I agree with you.
The
And I
best
gotta say this,
nutrients we can get.
and I'm going to admit this to all my audience out here, because I don't care. I don't hide nothing. I shoot from the hip, and I just say the truth. It's going to be 6 years that I've been sober. And
awesome.
but really, I really got to say 4 years, because the first 2 years was alcohol. I didn't touch alcohol, but I was still doing the rail of cocaine here and there. I would still do some ketamine here and there when I'd party. Now, I wasn't a drug addict, but I would go out and party with that stuff. But now it's been about 4 years completely sober of everything, absolutely everything, but 6 years alcohol. And I got to tell you, going out now, I'm glad I stopped, because going out now, you're playing Russian roulette. If you have kids going out, or they take a Xanax here and there, or an Adderall here and there, it can be laced and it can kill them. This is real. Or even smoking a joint could be laced.
300,000 people. That's why President Trump's blowing up those boats, because 300,000 people.
I think it's more than that. I think it's like over 100,000 a year. My friend owns a rehabilitation clinic where he helps people that are coming off fentanyl and stuff like that. And he's telling me the deaths are over 120,000 a year. Right. So this is happening in every city of America, on all of our streets. I mean, if you can go to any major city in America, Phoenix, Baltimore, Seattle, and there is a skid row, there's a fentanyl row where people are just strung out, taking trank, fentanyl, shooting up, and it's like the zombie apocalypse.
Right.
And honestly, folks, it's going to affect the kids that are now 12, 13, 14 years old. Watch who they're hanging out with. I would suggest anybody to homeschool their kids now. Don't send them to public schools. It's a battlefield out there. It's trench warfare, and it's Russian roulette. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and watch them on AI too. Watch them on AI too, because AI is. I just posted an article where this, the AI convinced the kid to
off himself. Yeah, self-delete.
Yeah.
I'm
this is tribulation. If anybody tells me one more time this is not tribulation, I'm gonna scream. There's no way this is not the tribulation. When you describe this, what's going on with humanity, it doesn't have to be nuclear holocaust for it to be in this situation. And then you talk about the inability to reproduce. Humanity is about to die off, you guys. I mean, something serious has to change.
Especially the white man. So, they're breeding less and less. They're having kids later in life. They're only having one kid, maybe no kids at all. Yeah.
Or you're not going to have babies.
You're right. And then they're putting their job first, their profession first. That's never happened. Like, people used to want to have that's why Charlie Kirk was so important. He was capturing the minds and souls of the youth and making them think about this. Just look at the movie Snow White. She was going to be an independent Snow White. When the first cartoon was about meeting Prince Charming, the kiss, the whole thing, a love story. Love stories are no more in Hollywood. They don't do that anymore. Right. It's all about men and women fighting men. It's about women being single, independent, having casual sex, the hookup culture. And where is it leading? To no family, no children. You're childless by the time you're 40, 45, and then you're wondering what happened to your life. I'm seeing it now. I'm in my 40s. I'm seeing it plain as day with the women I used to know that were fast, and now they have no kids. They're wondering, why can't I find a man? You ain't going to find a man anymore. It's not going to happen.
Right. Well, Charlie, in honor of Charlie, he turned that around. He was the turning point on that, because he woke up the youth to see that. And the whole premise of what I do over on MelissaRedpill.com is I talk about how this is biblical. This is the turning point for us to go into the golden age, where we're going to have babies, and whatever they've done to our bodies it's going to get turned around so that we'll be able to reproduce. We're not going to get to this point in humanity where we can go to the end times page, the very first one on there. Yeah. Intro. We're not going to get to this point, and then that video right there, is this the Great Awakening? You'll love that video. It's really encouraging. It's not the scary stuff that you've always heard, and we're not going to get to this point where humanity just dies out. We're going to have, the Bible says, well, as I've talked to you about before on your show is that we'll live as long as trees. We're going to literally have life extension. We're going to, they're not going to be able to do this to our bodies and snuff out humanity. It's not going to happen.
Do you want to stick around for some super chats that come in?
Sure.
We're probably going to ask you some questions.
It's time to go?
No, well, the super chats are coming on right now.
Okay.
So let's do that because I keep forgetting them and people get pissed off. So okay. Beverly Adams, super sticker, thank you. Moon Diaries, super sticker, thank you so much, Moon Diaries. Andrea Dake Bullets, don't listen to that person on X about reading your soul. You can plug any famous person's info into AI to formulate it based on known about you. Yeah, I agree with that. I thought it was just entertainment. That's why I put it out there. I don't like. I'm not like, oh, that's who I am. They found out. I'm not like that. It's entertaining. I thought it was funny.
Okay.
Agatha M. Nino, as always, you and your team are over the target. Thank you so much. Michelle Christians, you are 100% on target. TV is fired. .tv is Nino's Corner. .tv is fired. Thank you. Several people in Kirk crowd didn't run or drop to ground. Instead, they turned and looked to rooftop while cheering. Wow. The more you travel, the harder it gets. That's just, please be careful. Thank you for all you do. Golly, there. I cannot believe that's where our youth is these days. Yeah. Michelle Christians, thank you. Movie Man, thank you so much. Movie Man, give Mike Jacob. No, I'm not going on. I'm not on board with the. I love Mike Jacob, but I'm not on board with what this. He's really. I'm not going into it. Next question. Denise Littlefield, apologize to her.
It's okay, Denise. It's okay.
You want to free a nut shot on me, Melissa? Next time you see me, I'll go ahead and let you keep in the nuts.
Next time I see you.
Denise Littlefield, thank you. Your audience, thanks for you apologizing. Listen, I'm not an asshole. I can't be. Sometimes I can be, but I can't myself.
I want you to stay on fluff, right? I want you to stay on.
Yeah. That's all.
Watch my mouth. I get too excited.
One person did call that thing that I put on X. They said when they put it in AI, they said Nino is a white hat wrecking ball.
All right.
All right. I like that. I can go with that.
Yeah, I love that. I've said that same thing.
The white hat wrecking ball.
That book was supposedly written the day before his death. It's a scam for clickbait. Sending love to all. Yeah. Well, of course, that is a very important point, Heidi. That I've seen posts out there that talking about that this was going to happen. That they were going to try to do this, and I can see how someone could put a book out on Amazon the day before because of what they said was going to happen.
Words are powerful, man. I don't know. Maybe it's.
And they knew that he wasn't protecting himself.
Yeah.
The bulletproof vest is not enough.
Last part of the September 10th prophecy, quantum physics, human need to discover the unchanging laws of the universe, word of God. Charlie and many of us see the clarity. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Perseverance 3. Cindy Shipley, David, 107 guaranteed the rest of this week. He didn't guarantee that. He did not. Please bring him on and ask him why. He did not guarantee that. We don't want any more excuse. He did not guarantee that. He said something big will happen to MAGA, and look what happened. But I know he was talking about something else that would have been good news. And a lot of people, he made me turn off the comments because people were actually guessing it. But look, it hasn't happened. So I don't know. I mean, take it up with him. I just laid out for you all to play it out. Quentin B. I love you and Juan. Sorry for the loss. Horrible. Juan said something was going to happen this week for us, not the cabal. What happened? Juan said something was going to happen. Yes, he did. And it's still I know it's happening. But this kind of this is a massive distraction. I know that. Let's give it a couple more weeks. Let's see what happens. Heidi Clancy, make rooftop safe again. Yeah, no kidding. Samaj S is coming out from most recent interviews and dialogue that he started becoming aware and speaking about things regarding. Yep. Yes. Hint, Nino. Yep.
Yeah.
Info Warrior. Great work, Nino. Prayers and protection for you, bro. Por favor, use what the fuck news with your Christian guest. Oh boy. I'm pretty crazy. I don't know.
Well, I'm a Christian. You're a Christian. I'm thinking probably everybody on here is probably Christian, but that doesn't mean we've never heard that word before.
Put your earmuffs on. Okay, I think we're all adults. I don't know. Whatever.
Woman, right.
I mean, strange days. Rest easy, Charlie Kirk. All love and respect. You will be missed. Absolutely. Bob Smith, super sticker. And that is it. Melissa,
Before
thank
we
you
go,
so
can we
much
pray?
again.
Can we pray before we go?
Yes. Yeah. You want to lead the prayer?
Lord, I thank you that you are in control of all these things, and we don't understand everything that happens. But Lord, we trust you. We trust your plan. And I just pray that you would just strengthen our hearts, because this is tough. This was a tough hit for all of us. And we just feel so strongly that, what happened this past week was it just hurt us it hurt our hearts. But Lord, we just trust your plan. And none of us knows how many days we have on this earth. And I just thank you for Charlie and how he led us to encouraged us to live each day to the fullest and doing fulfilling what you have called each one of us to do. And then we won't have any regrets. And so, Lord, however long you have us here, we want to do these things like that verse that Charlie read, that we'll live for you, the one who died for us. And we thank you. We thank you for Charlie. I just love it, Lord. If you have him come back and be a superhero along with Martin Luther King Jr. And what a great honor this would be for him, along with JFK. And we don't know your whole plan, but we trust it. And we thank you for President Trump and for RFK and all that they're doing. And Lord, whatever happens over the next few weeks, we're buckled and we're going to trust you. We pray all this in your wonderful name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Love you, bro.
Love you too. And let's get you on again. All right, folks. That's all from here. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting.